Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'd like to answer a question that was asked by Johnathon Kleck, and I'd like to offer an alternative interpretation to who the rock of the church is. But what you see behind you here is from a video made by the Johnathon Kleck. It's titled "Copy This and Pass It Around." The title of the video is "Copy This and Pass It Around," and it is a great thing. I agree with the idea. It should be copied and passed around. But what I want to answer is, in the video he asked the question, how is it possible that they were able to depict the bombing of the federal building in Oklahoma City and the taking down of the Twin Towers on our money years and years before it actually happened? Well, I've explained this in other videos, but I'll explain it again. You see, within every generation, the devil, that is the serpent, which let me show you a good rendition of what the serpent, the physical appearance of what the serpent, the physical manifestation of what the Bible calls the serpent, is actually a cluster of microorganisms in our oceans. They are vibrational luminaries that are able to transform themselves into or appear to us as anything that they desire to appear to us. They literally could appear to us as a snake or an apple or whatever you want to. They could appear that way because of their ability, their vibrational luminaries. And not only would they appear to be anything that they want to be, they will actually be solid and can assume the form of a human if they want. You would think it's your next door neighbor. You'd never be able to tell the difference. But that is what the serpent of the Bible actually is. The physical manifestation of it is a cluster of microorganisms in our oceans. Now, the way this works is within every generation, this serpent creature comes to an individual as the devil. He comes to an individual and offers that individual. This individual, by the way, is generally thought of as being a descendant of Solomon and David. But he comes to this one individual within every generation, and he offers this individual all the kingdoms and glory of this world. And that individual is also made the head of what the Bible calls the synagogue of Satan, or the church of Satan. It's Satan's following, so to speak, or his assemblage of people, because out of every generation he also calls a group of people to do his bidding. And so this individual is given all the kingdoms and glory of the world, and he is head of the church of the Satan, and he has three families directly underneath him that each control three religions. Now the three religions in the West are Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. They're controlled by the family in Peru, the aristocracy of the Aztecs. So you have one individual who is Satan's man on earth, his representative on earth, and he's the head of the church of Satan, or the synagogue of Satan, which is really just the word church, means assemblage of Satan. But he controls three families that control three religions each. Now, the way the church of Satan, what they control in America is they control the Pentagon and they control the Treasury, and through the Treasury they control the Exchange Stabilization Fund. That's how they're able to do all these black operations. That's where all the money comes from, for the off-book operations for the CIA and everything. And he's also able to get tribute, but he also controls the Treasury, and he's able to print anything he wants on the money. So that's how it's done. But there's a verse I want to explain in a better way too. It's this verse where Jesus says, "Thou art Peter, and upon this rock." Well, this word Peter here is the word Petros, but the word rock here is the word Petros. Now this is a figure of speech. It's not recognizable in the writing because it's like a colloquialism. For instance, where the Bible says turn the other cheek, that was a colloquialism. It's where if your enemy slapped you, you turned the other cheek, not to offer it up to be slapped, but as an insult to your enemy. That's often misunderstood verse, also very wrongly misinterpreted. The closest thing we have today of turning the other cheek, of that practice that they had back then, is what we may have done when you were a child, when you were on a bus and all of the football team pulled their pants down and mooned out the window at the principal as you were leaving. You weren't really mooning the principal, you were challenging his authority. You were insulting not the principal but his authority. You see, that's what turn the other cheek meant. But here it was a colloquialism of the two hands, taking your hands like this and meaning upon yourself. So it wasn't saying Peter at all. The word patros is the word, and this is also better understood in the Arabic, or the Aramaic, because Jesus himself spoke Aramaic, and that is the colloquialism. It's an Aramaic custom to do this, the putting of the hands on the chest like this. But the word patros literally means a wind-blown stone. It's like a grain of sand, in a sandstorm. But the word patros means like the sandstorm, and the word patros means a massive boulder. It's a solid rock, like the mountain, like a mountain. So he was saying, you're just a stone of sand blown in the wind, but I'm a mountain. I'm a solid rock. He was pointing to himself, just like when he said turn the other cheek. He wasn't saying, turn the other cheek and let your enemy slap that. No, he was saying insult, turn the other cheek. That was the custom. That was the practice, of the time. So those are two alternative explanations. And I hope you read the little streamer up here, Johnathon Kleck, if you're watching this, because they do, I agree with you, they do turn everything upside down like they did right here. They turned this whole verse upside down because, see, the devil, the head of the church of Satan, he controls three families that each control three religions. And in the West, the three religions are Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, which he set up all three of those religions through the aristocracy of the Aztecs in Peru. And so all three of those religions are controlled, just like the U.S. military is a mercenary force, and it is controlled by the Christians in the Pentagon, just like the Russian military is a mercenary force, and it's controlled by the same Christians in their KGB, etc. So both militaries are fully controlled. They're just mercenary forces. They work for the highest bidders. Just to understand that within every generation, Satan appears in physical form to one individual. Now, this is mostly assumed to be a descendant of Solomon and David, just like the real Son of God, Jesus, the real Son of God, not the Jesus of Christianity, because Satan set up Christianity in order to convince the human race that he is Jesus and Jesus is God. That's why he set up Christianity. That was its purpose, and through Christianity he set up Islam and Judaism. So all three of those religions are controlled by what the Bible calls the synagogue of Satan, which the word synagogue really simply means an assembly of Satan. Satan calls out people from within every generation, just like he gives the kingdoms and glories of this world to one individual within every generation. That's really what's going on. And through the assemblage of Satan, he and his man directly control, in America, directly control the Pentagon and the Treasury, Department of Treasury, and the Exchange Stabilization Fund. That's how he does it. That's how he was able to put the image of the Twin Towers and the image of the federal building being blown up on the money years and years in advance of it ever happening. Talk to you guys again soon. Sorry for the long video.